Someone asks you a question in English. Your mind, which understood every word a moment ago, suddenly feels completely empty. 5 seconds pass. They feel like 50. Your face grows warm. You still have not said anything. This moment happens to almost every English learner. And what you do in these 5 seconds matters more than you might think. Most people believe the goal is to never freeze at all. But even fluent speakers sometimes blank out. What actually separates them is what happens next. Welcome back to Gentle Wisdom, where you learn English while becoming a better version of yourself. One story, one step at a time. Today we explore those critical seconds right after your mind goes blank, and a simple shift that changes what happens next. By the end of this video, you will have a specific way to reset your mind quickly, instead of freezing completely. Let's begin. Lesson 1: Why your mind goes blank. Adam Grant, an organizational psychologist, writes in Think Again about how pressure affects our thinking. Under sudden stress, our brains often shift into a protective mode, focused on managing threat rather than solving problems calmly. This means the sudden blankness you feel is not really about your English ability. It is your brain temporarily prioritizing panic over language, a normal biological response, not a personal failure. Understanding this changes something important. The problem is not that you do not know English. The problem is that panic has temporarily taken over the part of your brain you need for speaking. Once you see it this way, the blankness becomes less personal, and more like a predictable temporary reaction you can learn to work with. When your mind goes blank, breathe first. Then speak. Lesson 2: The power of the first few seconds. Here's what most people do wrong. The moment their mind goes blank, they try to force words out immediately, while still in a state of panic. This usually makes things worse. Rushed words come out broken, which increases embarrassment, which increases panic even further. A small moment of blankness can spiral into a much larger sense of failure. Grant's research suggests a different first move. Instead of forcing an immediate answer, briefly acknowledging the pause calms your nervous system enough for clearer thinking to return. Here is one way to test this today. The next time you feel your mind go blank, even in a small moment, pause deliberately. Take one slow breath before saying anything at all. Notice how this brief pause feels different from rushing. Lesson 3: Daniel and Yuna. Think about two learners who both experience their minds going blank during conversations. Daniel panics and rushes. The moment he freezes, he tries to speak immediately, stumbling over broken words, which makes him feel even more embarrassed and even more likely to freeze again next time. Yuna pauses instead. When her mind goes blank, she takes one slow breath, then simply says, "Let me think for a second," before continuing calmly. Over many conversations, Daniel's panic responses have become stronger, not weaker, because rushing has repeatedly reinforced his fear of freezing. Each rushed, broken response makes the next freeze feel even more threatening. Yuna's brief pauses have become a comfortable habit. Freezing no longer feels catastrophic to her, because she has a reliable way to recover from it. Same experience of blanking out. A completely different relationship with panic. When your mind goes blank, breathe first. Then speak. Lesson 4: Building your own reset. You cannot eliminate the moments your mind goes blank entirely. You can build a reliable way to recover from them quickly. Grant suggests treating panic itself as information, not failure. It usually just means you need one calm breath before your thinking can continue clearly. This single shift changes how you respond to it. Try this today. Prepare one simple phrase in advance, such as "let me think for a moment," to use the next time your mind goes blank. Practice saying it out loud a few times now, so it feels natural when you actually need it. Having the phrase ready removes one more thing your panicked mind would otherwise need to invent. Every calm breath interrupts panic before it can grow larger. Every practiced pause becomes easier to use the next time you need it. Every recovered conversation builds confidence for the next difficult moment. So today, prepare your own calm phrase and remember that freezing is not the end of a conversation. It is simply a 5-second pause you now know how to handle. When your mind goes blank, breathe first. Then speak. You are becoming. Something has shifted in you today. The person who finishes this video is not quite the same as the one who started it. That shift is real. And it is yours to keep. If you enjoyed today's story, please like and subscribe. A new story arrives every day. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments too. Every choice shapes your life. Small habits, big results. And keep becoming. Study Corner, today's English notes. Welcome to the Study Corner. Let's review 3 useful words from today's story. The first word is protective. In the story we heard, under sudden stress, our brains often shift into a protective mode, focused on managing threat rather than solving problems calmly. Protective means intended to keep something or someone safe from harm. For example, panic can trigger a protective response in your brain. The next word is acknowledging. In the story we heard, instead of forcing an immediate answer, briefly acknowledging the pause calms your nervous system enough for clearer thinking to return. To acknowledge means to openly recognize or accept that something is happening. For example, acknowledging a mistake calmly is often better than ignoring it. The third word is reinforced. In the story, we heard how rushing had reinforced his fear of freezing. To reinforce means to make a feeling, behavior, or belief stronger. For example, calm breathing can weaken fear instead of reinforcing it. What was the most useful thing you learned today? Or is there anything you want to know more about? Share your thoughts in the comments. Small steps. Every day. You are doing well. See you tomorrow.